Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. Apologies, I haven't been here much recently myself because I've been busy inside the new Earth Ascension Temple. I wanted to pop in today though with a quick September 2024 update. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Karen from KarenAntara.org. I am a soul purpose, awakening and ascension guide. Now, what I'm seeing playing out for September and really what prompted me to come in and just give you this little update, it's kind of like a little bit of a warning, to be perfectly honest. So what I'm seeing is that many people are in the camp of the world is going to hell in a handbasket real quick. There are many others, thankfully, and more coming by the day, I think, in the camp that says, no, we're creating our own reality and it's got the potential to be a beautiful reality. And that's the camp that I'm in. So when we look around us, you know, there is death and destruction everywhere. There is doom and gloom everywhere. It's all over mainstream media, but it's also all over social media too, isn't it? You know, when you're scrolling along, you're seeing flash images of things that really pain your heart, you know, horrible things that are happening. Headlines, you know, catchy taglines and one-liners and all of that, obviously very clearly designed to hook you in so that then you go in and you watch the whole reel or whatever. Now, I'm a big fan of truth. I kind of wish that all the truth could be exposed at once, but I realize that that probably would blow our minds. Even those of us that think we know a lot, it probably would blow our mind, because I remember back, you know, more than 30 years ago when I started my awakening process. And actually, I think the first thing I became aware about was the corruption within the food industry. And then I became aware of your government don't really care for you. And at the time back then, there weren't so many of us then, and we didn't have social media like we've got it today. But then it was bloody shocking, to be honest with you. And now when you think in all that period of time, how much more has been uncovered? Things that have been hidden from us, that are terrible things that are going on, that's been hidden from us. And now with social media, etc., it's all coming up real quick. So as much as I would love, you know, the truth of everything to be exposed, I think it would be too much, even, as I say, for those of us that think we know it. So it's not feasible to really expect it all to come out at once, but it's unfolding, and it is unfolding quicker and quicker now, isn't it? So in September, here we are. I think in the coming months, we've got some big exposés about to come out. So hold on to your hat for that. Remember to try and be really grounded when you take this information. Now, people are saying, oh, you know, the world is getting worse. It's not getting worse. It's always been this bad. But because it's being exposed, we think it's getting worse, but it's actually always been going on there for a really long time. If you decide to investigate it, you'll find, you know, that a lot of this goes back, well, some of it goes back hundreds of years, to be perfectly honest. But, you know, there was a big load of undercover stuff started happening 100 years ago, you know, or even in 1930. You know, let's say things started to go on, you know, with extraterrestrial influence and some of the deals made by the presidents and all of that. It all started back then. So this is not new. When we say, oh, it's getting worse, no, it's getting exposed. And that's because we're bringing more and more light and consciousness onto the planet. And with more light, you can see into the dark spaces, into the dark corners, like even at the back of your cupboard. If you go in there with a little torch, a spotlight, you know, you'll see more things, right? So that's really what's going on. It's always been there, but we're seeing it now. So try to remain centered and grounded and realize, well, personally, I think it's a good thing that the light is exposing the dark. Now, what we focus on, though, we're going to be aligning to. We're going to be moving our attention into these dark things, these, you know, some of them are really horrific. Some of the things that have been going on, that have been hidden, that are now being exposed. And really, to be perfectly honest, here's the warning. If you focus on that to a great degree, it will affect you energetically. You will go into some level of shock and horror, and then you'll have to process that through your body. Not everybody really needs to go into it in that great depth. Some people will feel that they need to. So I'm just saying to you, if you really want to research and go deep into that stuff, just expect that there will be an energetic outcome from it. However, that same shock and horror, energetic impact, you could get that through researching the food industry, what we've been eating all these years. You could get that same shock and horror feeling, researching chemtrails and what's in the air or what's in the water or everything that has been hidden from us that is detrimental to us. When you explore it, it has the potential to create shock and horror. So that's the warning. I'm not saying don't go there. I've been in all of them. I've looked at all of them. I believe I've processed the shock and horror, which is why I know that it's a real potential. But I felt the need to explore it all. But remember, I've been doing this process for 30 years. So I've had the opportunity to dig into things and then back off while I process that, and then go forward again and explore something more and then process that. So I've had the luxury, if you like, of a very gentle awakening where I can research and go into things, at a pace that's comfortable for me to process. It hasn't actually always been comfortable, to be perfectly honest. Sometimes I've been in trauma from it. And I've helped many people through that same trauma. So that's the warning around all that, even though I love the whole idea of fully exposing all the truth. But, we've got to do that carefully as well. So I do see in the next few months a big explosion of more truth coming up because people want it. And there's a big industry on being truth speaker, influencer, pulling, revealing everything. All of these people on social media, they get big followings. So my question is, are they really doing it for the exposure of the truth? Or is there an element of kind of, tragedy addiction? Or is it all to do with followers and being an influencer and everyone wants to interview you and you're appearing everywhere? And is that ego? Because there is such a thing as spiritual ego, where people, what ego is. People get overinflated, and it's not just in a 3D world that people have ego. There is a spiritual ego as well, and I'm seeing this a lot. I'm not going to name anyone and pull people out, but I'm seeing this with people that want to suddenly start channeling the galactics and, light language, come and train with me. And, people clearly are searching for this information. And great, I love people that search for information. But there are also people that are really getting off on, their fan base, their followers, because they're coming up with this wow thing. So I'm just a little bit dubious about some of this stuff. So I'm urging caution. Let's talk about springtime in Australia, because it's a perfect time for detoxing food, what you're drinking. Great time for detoxing the body. It's also great time for decluttering, getting rid of all the stuff that you no longer need. Every item that you own has an energy around it. If you choose to, you can read the energy of that, and you will remember, where you bought that item, what you can even remember why you bought it, what you were feeling at the time. All of that is energy. So if you've got a home filled with rubbish that you don't want anymore, clothes that don't fit, things that you've, don't like anymore, things that you've outgrown, books maybe that no longer serve your purpose, get rid of it all. Get rid of it. Get that energy out of your house. It's old energy. Do a nice saging thing or whatever it is, because we like that, don't we? But yeah, it does shift the energy. I'm all about shifting the energy into a higher frequency. So declutter all of the S-H-I-T, that no longer serves you. And let's talk about decluttering and detoxing some of the people that you follow. Some of the people on social media, I've had a big detoxing, clearing out. I love unfollowing and unfriending people on social media. Let's be honest, this is people I'm probably never going to meet in real life, but they've had some influence over me in my social media feed. So their posts come up and I look at them and I am influenced by what they say. Now, I might not admit to that. I might not say, oh yes, she's had an influence on me. But the point is, this is all subliminal. I love researching subliminal programming. You probably already know that I only started to study, how the mind really works, because I had so many people coming to me for help to get out of spiritual cults. That's when I started to research and study mind control, hypnotherapy, psychotherapy, how to use the mind. And also that's when I went into trauma-based mind control, because that's a fascinating subject, and I can see that it's being used on the mass population in most of their news reports, certainly over the last 4 years with all the lockdowns and things. So that is fascinating to me in the way that it can influence us subliminally without us realizing. And so too can anyone that we're following, whether that is people talking about the doom and gloom, people talking about, their channeling that's come through from some unknown galactic person, which actually, let's be honest, we don't really know it's them, and we don't really know whether these are positive or negative guys, because there has been a lot of negative influence on this planet by ETs, and a lot of the people that are channeling stuff actually don't know what they're channeling. Sorry to say that, but it's true. And then we have, we're following people that are maybe in business and marketing. And it's, my perception of this is buy my thing, come and follow my strategy, because then you'll be successful. And all of that has an influence on us, and it all affects us, and it plants a subliminal seed. And if we're trying to grow our business, for example, and we keep hearing that same message, follow me, follow me, follow me. It's a little bit like the Pied Piper, and everyone follows along. That's probably a subject for another day. I'm just saying to you, be careful what you let into your awareness, into your energy field, and into your mind, because everything has an influence upon you. The people that you hang out with, the meetings you go to, the groups you participate in, the books you read, the films you watch, everything has an effect upon you. And you have to really guard your consciousness and your energy field, because your life depends on it. Actually, your life does depend upon it. Whatever is coming into your field is subtly aligning you with a future timeline that you are moving into. That's really what I want to bring up. So when I say to you, do you know what future you want to create? Do you know what you want to experience in your future? So many clients come to me, and when I ask them that question, they don't actually know what they want to experience and create in their future, but they know what they don't want. And they think that's good. Oh yes, I don't want that, and I'm sick of that, and I don't want that anymore. And they think that that's good because they know what they don't want. And I get that. But my question then is, how much energy are they putting into what they don't want as opposed to what they do want? Because your energy creates your reality and your experience going forward. So we're going to be seeing a lot of intense emotion, intense energy coming up. It's September. We're moving towards those elections in the US, and that has always got a big energy to it. My astrology friends tell me all these planets are moving and there's eclipses and all sorts. I'm not really into that too much, but I do feel the energy around it. Obviously I feel solar flares when they come in. I love the solar flares, even though they literally give me a pain in my neck. I always get a pain in my neck and I go, oh, I think there's a solar flare. And then I usually hear about it a day or two later because I always feel it first in my neck. I know that's weird, but I'm sure there'll be a place that you feel it as well. When you're in tune with your body, you can kind of get those signals. So I know we've got some more solar flares coming. I know we've got eclipses, we've got planets, we've got a lot of political stuff. There's somebody ready to press, you know, the red button that starts World War III or whatever. All of that is big, intense energy. And wherever our mind is mostly focused, that big, intense energy is going to amplify that. So we're building and creating a beautiful new future and reality in what we call the new Earth. In order to build that, we can expect to see deconstruction, the breaking down of old systems. It's like, you know, if you have a house there and it's really old and it's not serving you anymore and you want to build a new one in its place, you're going to pull it down. You're going to raise it to the ground. You're going to clear away the rubble, which is why we like decluttering. And we're going to dig beautiful, deep, new foundations so that we can build a new structure. But there's always going to be deconstruction before the real construction of the new. So we can expect to see lots of things crumbling and breaking down all around us. What I believe we must not focus on is the deconstruction, is the crumbling, because expect to see the crumbling of the systems that are not working. If you know anyone that's been in a relationship and ended up divorced, you can kind of look at that and go, yeah, I could see things weren't working out well. I could get a sense of it. I could feel it. Oh, next thing, they're separated, they're divorcing. There are always signs, right? So if you look around you at all the systems, whether that's health, banking, politics, you know, all of the stuff, right? Education system, everything. You can look at that and say, I see the signs that it's not working. Therefore, you can expect it to crumble, fall apart. And that's when the conscious people that are aligning to the new earth are beginning to, and I do see this beginning to happen, they are coming in and they are creating new structures to take us forward into the new earth. And that's what I'm focusing on. And I see much of it happening. I'm part of a group that is all about creating a new earth. Conscious people looking at broken down systems and saying, I know how we can do this better. And they're building it anew. And that's what I'm focused on. I'm aware there's going to be deconstruction, but I'm very aware and engaged in constructing the new Earth Ascension timeline, because that's really what I'm choosing to align to. So I hope this has been helpful to you. I do have a beautiful community that we're building, New Earth Ascension Temple. It's a membership, monthly membership, and we have conscious conversation and we're learning things in there about all the stuff that's deconstructing. We're not talking about that too much because we're not putting our energy onto it. Remember, we're just taking enough to understand why those systems need to crumble and be replaced with the new. So there is a level of uncovering of the truth, but we're focused on why we are here right now having this conversation, because I believe that we're going to find our right people. When we are on our true and authentic path, when we're being true and authentic to ourselves, is when we can start to really align to our soul purpose. And when you are aligning and you're on that track, there's a little bit of magic that happens. There's a magnetism. You begin to draw into you the perfect people. I actually believe that if you like my work, if you align to me, I bet you we've made some kind of agreement in another time and space that said, you know what? we'll come together at this pivotal moment in this ascension timeline on this planet, because when we come together, we create the alchemy that allows the ascension to take place. And I do believe there are many, many groups of people doing this with our people all over the planet. We don't need to all be in the same group. We need our little groups, and the groups come together. It's a collective thing. Everybody has a perfect part to play. It's a little bit like a jigsaw puzzle, and if you're not there with us in our puzzle, there's a piece missing, and we need you. So maybe you're thinking, yeah, I don't think my puzzle piece goes in Karen's puzzle, and that's fine. But I invite you to find out where you really need to belong. And this is all to do with you being truly authentic to you, really aligning and feeling it. Now, it will probably require that you let go of some things that are not in alignment for you, that are holding you back. Because when we're holding stuff that's no longer right for us, we often can't, it's a bit like you can't see the wood for the trees, but like literally you're being held back in an old energy of things that used to serve you, but, you know, no longer do. When you let go of them, that's when you've freed up your energy to see where you're meant to be going next. And that's how you find the correct alignment going forward, and you find your people. So, as I say, if you feel that we're your people, come on in and join us in the new Earth Ascension Temple. I'll put a link below. If you're not sure and you just want to talk to me about it, then just DM me. I'm really, really open to having these conversations. And we have coming up in a few days' time a beautiful class all about energy, kind of psychic self-defense 101, but not really 101, because I always go way more than 101. And then in 2 weeks' time, we have a great kind of masterclass coming up, talking all about your light body, ascension symptoms, and all of that kind of stuff that goes along with awakening and ascension. So if that's your vibe, message me, come and join us in the new Earth Ascension Temple. Otherwise, I hope this has been helpful to you. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or anything that you would like me to talk about. Otherwise, I think that's it for today. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.